This is my 1920s research poster, and this is what I found in my research. The 1920s is the first decade where more people lived in cities rather than on farms. Some of the reasons for this is that people flocked to cities for better industrial jobs. Younger people seek to live in cities to get away from the farm life. Younger people sought to live in cities to gain more freedom than they would on the farm. They also sought to chase their dreams, and in this they got education that they couldn't get while they were on the farms. Henry Ford built the first Model T in this decade. This gave people the chance to get around faster at a lesser cost. This allowed freedom and independence, and this is what younger people sought to seek. In general, this gave people mobility that they didn't have before. Wait, no, this led people which this in turn led to bigger cities and more opportunity for people to move around within those cities. This mobility led into a great growth in cities. This created new jobs and new mobilities by the thousands.
Not yet.
As the cities became more mobile, especially the younger generation, this gave people a sense of freedom they never had before, and a sense of independence. This led to many cultural changes and entertainment. Jazz was one of the main music forms of the 1920s. The style reflected the sense of freedom and independence, in stark contrast in what the older generation listened to. Younger females wore flapper dresses, showing more skin than ever before. This was a huge step in the other direction of the thoughts of the Victorian era attitudes pertaining to women's dress especially. All the excitement and opportunity that led people in thousands to the cities had its drawbacks. For exciting as plentiful as opportunities seemed, those opportunities weren't available for everybody. Cities became overcrowded, with people coming into the cities from the farms, and thousands upon thousands coming from other countries, big cities overflowing with people. Building and housing conditions could not keep up with demand. Large impoverished areas with poor living conditions became known as tenement slums, with families crowded into small apartments and apartment buildings teeming with people. This led to new problems like crime, disease. Press it.
Hold on.
Don't.
Fucking doing that, Alec.
Crime.
Disease.
It's still on.
Hold on.
Oh shit.
Disasters like fires, and the overall need for safety and building regulations to catch up. Many of the cultural changes from before affected every facet of life. Women dressed differently and wanted to work, and not just be a wife and a homemaker. Men did not necessarily see their future on a farm. Sports and music became more popular forms of entertainment and created more opportunities for people to make a living at it. Baseball was a great example in sports. Stars. Players began to be recognized more as legitimate and not as people wasting as their time as a game. Prohibition was a shot back from the older generation, the conservative crowd, to repel the new freedoms and lifestyles they saw as forms of debauchery, refueled by drinking and carousing. Cultural changes were numerous and continued to be a battle among the citizens throughout the decade. This had to do with the transitions of the society from agrarian to industrial, from sedentary to mobile, from conservative to more liberal, from white male to society to a society that more people wanted to have a say so in. Women, blacks, immigrants, and younger people. The 1920s was the decade that saw major changes. It was the decade that really turned the corner and drove the country headfirst into the 20th century.